venture, mate, into the classroom. I don't know whether I'm Australian, a little bit London also, but here we go, we're on to the tour. So, in your rooms, okay, enough of that. Whew. In your rooms, you have a couple new things. The first thing that you probably have set up, but maybe not, is your Mac Mini. Just to get some of the language right, this right here is just a monitor. This is your Bluetooth keyboard. And in the back is the actual Mac Mini computer. So you can see all the hookups down below for that device. So let's take a look at what is underneath your Mac Mini as far as ports go. The big one, if your monitor is not showing anything, the Mac Mini might not be turned on. So if you look on the bottom corner here, you can see the little power button. It's that almost full circle with the dash in it. So you may need to hold that to power on your computer. You can also see a lot of other cords. The Twisted Veins one, that's an HDMI cord hooking into the monitor. If you have a smart board or projector, that's what this dongle's going into. There's a couple USB ports under there, and then your last one is your microphone cord. So all those are sort of hidden under there. If you need to see it better, you can always slide this up a little bit to look and see underneath there. All right, so heading over to the computer. Once you sign on, you'll sign on with your normal computer login and password. Just two things you're going to want to do to start the year are start off by going to the little apple in the upper left-hand corner and then heading to System Preferences. On the Bluetooth keyboard, you have the keys, and then you also have this trackpad. That's your mouse. You may find it to be too slow, or you may find it just right. So once you're in System Preferences, you will go to Mouse, and this is where you can adjust that tracking speed for your trackpad. Okay. Second thing you'll need to do is you'll need to go to the App Store with the A on it, or you can click the magnifying glass and search for it by typing App Store. You can also access it through self-service, searching the same thing and logging into that. But either way, you want to go ahead and download OneDrive and sign into that as you have in the past. Make sure it's the business account versus your personal, and also make sure you right-click on that and make sure for options that it says Open at Login. All right, now we're going to move on to the next thing that everyone has in their room, which is an Apple TV. An Apple TV is not a TV. It's just a device that allows you to connect to the TV, and it happens to be an Apple device. All right, so in my room, I have a remote for the projector, and then this is something new everyone has. This is the new Apple TV remote. So in order to display your iPad onto the screen for students to see, whether that's looking at websites or using a whiteboard app or instructing in some other way, this is one of the steps you're going to have to take care of in your own room. So the first thing you have to do, the Apple TV is connected to the HDMI port. An HDMI is just a type of cord. So let's take a look at what the Apple TV looks like first before we get into that. So up above your projector, if you have one in the middle of the room like this, is the Apple TV, and that's all it is. Okay, is a little black box and has the wires in the back. That's the Ethernet, so it's plugged in directly to the internet, so we should have better connection. And that's your HDMI cord that connects the video to the projector, and that's your power cord. So that's all an Apple TV is, and that's what it looks like. Notice there is no white light on the end of it, which means it's not turned on. So here's the process you need to do when turning on your Apple TV. So projector needs to be on HDMI. So I just aim the remote at the projector, and now it's on HDMI. And then to turn on the Apple TV, all you do is hit any button you want and it will wake it up. You actually need to aim it at the Apple TV, or you need to have it be bouncing off the screen and back to the Apple TV. So either way, pointing at it or pointing at the screen, and it will actually ricochet backwards. All right, now the big thing you want to look at is it'll tell you what to look for on your iPad. So mine is sort of messed up. Typically yours will say Apple TV, and then it'll say your room number. For some reason mine has a very long string of numbers. But we'll show you how to AirPlay and view things from your Apple TV. But that's the Apple TV and the remotes to how to get it started up. Here's how to use AirPlay to go through the Apple TV and show what's on your iPad onto the screen or TV or whatever you have. So this is what you're going to be looking at where it says choose this Apple TV. Most of them actually say the room numbers. For some reason mine has a whole string of things, but yours probably won't look like that. So here's the process. You have something on your iPad. You want to display it on the screen. This goes for kids too with their iPads. The process is swiping up. You'll see that arrow appear. You want to grab that arrow and swipe those windows up, and you can see AirPlay mirroring. You're going to click that, and you can see here's all the classrooms that are connected to the network that have Apple TVs. Mine is not listed on there. Remember, like I told you, there's a few here that have a weird string of things. So here's mine, this DEG one. So I'm going to click that, and then it will connect to my Apple TV and display the same screen that's on my iPad onto the projector. And then you kids can share information, and you can do lessons straight from your iPad for kids to see. When you're all done with that and you want to turn off that connection, you just swipe up again and click your Apple TV button and turn off AirPlay mirroring. And then it'll turn it off from projecting. Your last new piece of technology is the iPad drawers. These are still in the middle of getting officially finished installing, but the tech department did get these into the right side of your electronic cabinets. They will have dividers in them. You can almost see all the little notches where the dividers will go. You'll want to have a process in the morning for how students get these out from charging in the morning and how they are put away at the end of the day. But basically you have your charging side of your iPad. It's going to go into the divider like that, and the power cord will run from back here through this panel and be able to be plugged into the iPad right there. And then at the end of the school day, gets pushed back in, and then your cabinet is able to be closed and locked for security. So that's that.